There's something happening in Dallas right now. You can feel it. You can hear it. You can see it on the faces of every Cowboys fan across the country. Frustration, mixed with a spark of hope. The trade deadline is right around the corner, and for Jerry Jones in the front office, this is more than just another transaction window. This is decision time. The Dallas Cowboys have reached the point in their season where they must choose between staying stagnant or making a bold move that could reshape their future for years to come. And here's the name that's starting to echo across the NFL, Jermaine Johnson II of the New York Jets. If you're a true Cowboys fan, you know this isn't just another rumor. This one makes sense. It's logical, strategic, and above all, it fits exactly what this team has been missing since Micah Parsons left. A young, explosive, high-motor edge rusher who can grow into the next defensive cornerstone of America's team. Let's set the stage. The Cowboys' defense has struggled to find consistency since trading Parsons. They've tried to patch the hole with rotational players, mid-season call-ups, and shifting schemes, but the results have been inconsistent at best. Every week, we've seen flashes, moments where the potential shines through, followed by drives where missed tackles, broken assignments, and lack of pressure remind us that this defense still needs a true anchor. That's why this trade rumor is more than just wishful thinking. According to Dallas Cowboys on SI and Bleacher Report's Brad Gagnon, the Cowboys have the perfect opportunity right now to land a long-term solution at edge rusher. The Jets are 1-7. Their season is falling apart, and their young defensive pieces, including former first-rounder Jermaine Johnson II, are drawing attention from contending teams. And who's at the front of that line? The Dallas Cowboys. Johnson checks every box. He's only 26 years old, entering his prime years, and he's under contract through 2026. He's not a short-term rental. He's not a veteran on the decline. He's a foundational piece. A player who fits exactly what Brian Schottenheimer and defensive line coach Aaron Whitecotton, who, by the way, worked with Johnson back in New York, are looking for in this defense. At 6 feet 5 inches, 265 pounds, Johnson is built like the kind of hybrid weapon Dallas has thrived with in the past. He's versatile enough to rush with his hand in the dirt or stand up as an outside linebacker. That flexibility is gold in today's NFL, especially in Eberflus's system, which depends on disguising looks and generating pressure from multiple angles. In his last full season with the Jets, Johnson put up 55 tackles, 7.5 sacks, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, an interception, and even a defensive touchdown. This year, despite playing on a struggling team, he's still producing 29 tackles, a sack, a pass breakup, and a key run stop, while often being double-teamed because he's one of the few consistent threats on that Jets defense. And here's where it gets really interesting. According to insiders, Johnson could be available for a day 3 pick. That's right, a 4th or 5th rounder could get it done. For a player with his athletic ceiling, youth, and contract situation, that's not just good business, that's a steal. That's exactly the kind of move smart franchises make when they see an opportunity to get younger, faster, and stronger without overpaying. Let's be honest, this Dallas front office has had its share of misses in recent years, but when it comes to identifying value at the trade deadline, Jerry Jones has always known how to make a splash. Think about the moves that changed this franchise: Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, the Micah Parsons draft pick. When Jerry sees a player who fits the Cowboys' culture, he pulls the trigger, and Jermaine Johnson fits that mold perfectly. But let's talk about the why. Why does this move make so much sense right now? Because the Cowboys aren't just looking for a temporary fix, they're building the next generation of their defense. Look at the linebacker core they've assembled: DeMarvion Overshown, Kenneth Murray, Jack Sanborn, Maris Leofau, and Shamar James. Young, athletic, hungry players. Add Jermaine Johnson to that mix, and suddenly you've got a unit that's fast, physical, and full of upside. That's how you build a sustainable core, one that can dominate for the next 5 years, not just 5 games. It's no secret that the Cowboys' biggest problem has been replacing Parsons' production and leadership. Johnson won't be Parsons. No one can be. But what he can be is the start of something new, a player who grows into his role, who develops under Schottenheimer's leadership and who helps restore the physicality and swagger this defense once had. You can already see how he would fit into this system. Pair him with Sam Williams on the other side, Kenny Clark anchoring the middle, and James Houston rotating in on third downs. That's a front seven that suddenly commands respect. That's a defense that looks alive again. That's a group that can get to the quarterback and make opponents think twice before testing the Cowboys' front four. And let's not forget the intangibles. Johnson isn't just a physical talent, he's a high-character player. Coaches rave about his discipline, his effort, and his willingness to learn. He's not the type to come in with ego or baggage. He's the kind of guy who puts his head down and works. That's exactly the type of energy the Cowboys' locker room needs right now. Jerry Jones has already gone on record saying the team is open for business. Stephen Jones echoed that sentiment, saying that Dallas will make a move if the opportunity presents itself. Well, guess what? The opportunity has arrived. This is it. This is the moment to act. It's rare to find a trade target who fits both the short-term and long-term vision of a franchise, but Jermaine Johnson does. He can help now, and he can grow with the team. For a front office that's been criticized for playing it too safe, this is their chance to silence the critics and take a calculated, forward-thinking swing. So, Cowboys Nation, here's the question. Are you ready for another young star to wear the star? Because if this deal goes through, we could be looking at the start of the next great Cowboys defensive era, one built on veterans past their prime, but on hungry, ascending players with something to prove. Johnson brings exactly that: hunger, energy, and attitude. He's the kind of player who doesn't care about the spotlight. He just wants to make plays. He'd fit right in alongside George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, and Javonte Williams, all guys who play with fire and emotion. That's the new identity of the Dallas Cowboys under Brian Schottenheimer: tough, young, aggressive, and fearless. And with the trade deadline just days away, the clock is ticking. The question isn't whether the Cowboys can make this move, it's whether they have the courage to do it. Will Jerry Jones step up and take advantage of the perfect opportunity staring him in the face? Or will the Cowboys once again let another young, game-changing talent slip away? The fans are watching, the locker room is waiting, and the message that this move would send is powerful. We're not giving up on 2025. We're fighting for it. Because let's be honest, one move won't solve everything, but sometimes one move is all it takes to shift the energy, to remind the league that the star still shines bright no matter how dark the storm gets. Jermaine Johnson could be that move, a trade that reignites the defense, a trade that gives Dallas hope again, a trade that says we're not done yet. Cowboys Nation, this is your moment. What do you think? Should Jerry Jones pull the trigger? Should the Cowboys take the risk and bring in Jermaine Johnson for the long term? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe to Dallas Game Day for all the latest updates, breaking news, and real analysis from the Star. Because if this deal happens, the Dallas Cowboys might just find their next great defensive star, and a new chapter could begin in Big D.